Men, this is where it points us as leaders in the church. We should be the first ones to stand up and pray when asked to. We should be the first ones to stand up and teach. We should be the first ones to stand up and do anything in the church. And oftentimes you'll see that women are, because men, their pride shuts them down. Well, pride's the first sin you need to deal with then. Because pride will keep you from doing what the Lord wants you to do. If I would have let pride stand in the way, I'd never be here preaching to you today. I'd have never went forward at 39 and decided that I had been just goofing off for the first 39 years of my life and that I needed to surrender everything within me to the Lord and quit running. If I'd have let pride stand in the way, I would have sat right there in my pew and not moved. And I'm just telling you, there's somebody who's going to come through these doors of this church that's going to be called to ministry. I'm telling you. Because God's word changes life, and that's what we're teaching and preaching is God's word, and I believe it. And you're going to have to get pride out of the way before you can do it. So, men, we need to be the ones that stand up and be leaders in the church and in the home. Men, if prayer is going to happen in your house, then it needs to start with you. You need to be the one to implement it. When you're laying there in bed with your wife and you're fighting, you're like, I should pray, but I'm not going to pray. I'm just going to pray quietly. Well, guess what? If you're embarrassed of the Lord so much that you can't pray in front of your wife, then you're not going to be able to stand in front of somebody else and tell them about Jesus, and you'll have to answer for it one day on Judgment Day. So it starts in the home. If you can be bold at home, you can be bold anywhere. If you want to pray with your kids, it needs to start with you. You need to be the one to vocalize it, to implement it, to lead your wife and your kids to the throne of God every chance you get. We need to be the ones that do that. You need to be the first one when things aren't going right in your marriage, when things aren't going right in your relationships, when your finances are all messed up. You need to be the first one that goes, whoa, wait, this is way off. We're arguing for no reason, or we're doing this for the wrong reason. We need to stop, and we need to pray, and we need to ask God for wisdom and discernment because we're headed down the wrong road. Men, you need to be the first one to do that. To stand up and be bold in your approach before God. And you know what? If you're bold before God, and He will recognize you for that. And He will bless you. He will bless your marriage. He will bless your relationships. Humble yourself before God and say, I can't do it on my own. I need you. I need you to save my marriage. I need you to save my finances. It starts with us, men. We need to pray for wisdom and discernment. And here's the important part for us. Be willing to admit when you're wrong. Ooh. Man, that's a tough one. That's that pride again. But you need to be the first one to really go, all right, God, this is a mess. If I'm at fault here, I need you to convict me of it. I need you to show me. If I did anything or said anything that I should have done differently, I need you to show me right now before I go in here and make things right with my wife, or before I go make things right with my boss, or before I go make things right with this neighbor. You have got to pray about it, and you need to be the first one to look at yourself first. If anything is going to change in your marriage, if anything is going to change in your relationship, if anything is going to change in your relationship with the Lord or a friend or your wife, it's going to start with you, I promise you. It will start with you.